Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Got a fun one today. We learned how to do Working for the Weekend by Loverboy. Now this was really fun to play. I used to play this in like a top 40 cover band. Crowd always loved it, so it's a good one to have in your repertoire. Everybody instantly recognizes it when you play it, so it's very cool. Now before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell so you know when I release a new video. You can like and comment on the videos. Watch the videos, it's really great. Really helps YouTube push it out to more people. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube, the best way is by clicking that link below to my Guitar Academy and joining me up there. So contains all my guitar courses. We've got a great community over there. I go live every weekend. We're just Academy members, so they can ask me questions in real time, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great place to learn, and I got courses covering everything from stuff for complete beginners to more advanced courses in technique, improvisation, ear training theory, guitar tone, you name it. I hope to see you there, and you get a free 7-day trial by clicking that link below. All right, let's jump into the lesson. So I'm in standard tuning here. It's kind of basic rock tone on there. And we have this intro, which is really kind of, also is the bridge of the song. I call it a bridge, I don't even know really what it is. But it's this thing. So we have obviously a keyboard going on with it that has that little chromatic line. You can actually do that on the guitar, even though he's not doing it. It's the keyboardist that's doing that line. But if you don't have a keyboardist, you can kind of cheat it a little bit and just do it. So I had to do that myself when I was playing live because we didn't have a keyboardist with us. So anyway, so let me show you the way it's actually done. So we're just gonna start here at this B power chord here at the second fret of the A string. So it's a power chord built up the second fret of the A. And you kind of just chugging on that a little bit. I'm kind of hitting the chord, and then come back and hitting the muted A string there with the, well, obviously I'm holding the second fret. Kind of just like that. And then we do this little, so that's gonna be on the open E string, 0, 1, 2, and then the open A string, and then back 0, 1, 2 on the low E again. Now you can see that that's kind of palm muted as well too. So just kind of slightly palm mute down here. So far we have this. And repeat. Now, if you don't want to do that little chromatic line on the guitar, so when you're playing the normal power chord, you have that, besides the second fret on the A, you have that fourth fret there on the D. You can just take that, start there, and then take that note down to the third fret there on the D, and then the second fret on the D. So you can just do that with a bar between the A and the D string. So kind of just the second one. Every time you're going to change the top note. Like I said, that's not what's being done on the recording. He's just holding a B chord, the power chord the whole time. But if you want to mimic what's going on with the keys, you can do it that way too. And it sounds pretty good. All right, and then we get to the verse, which looks like this. Goes to the chorus. So we're gonna start here with this. So coming up, it's gonna start with this B power chord, kind of chugging on that again. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little passing chord here. You're gonna grab this F sharp power chord off the second fret of the low E string real quick. Just hit that lightly one time. And you're gonna lead it up to the third fret there, the G power chord. So wait this. So it's kind of good to kind of obviously know the song so you can put those accents on the chord. Then he goes back to the B chord, but right before he hits it, he has a lead into that as well, which is the open A string. So we have this coming back to start the riff over. So we have this. That open A right here. So we went back to kind of start it back to that B. And then this second time around, it's different. It does this. So that's, after you get to that B chord the second time, you're gonna once again go this little passing chord at the second fret of this F sharp power chord here. Just hit that once, and then take it up to the 4th fret, not the 3rd. And you can let that ring, and then down to the open E power chords. Just, the open E string, 2nd fret on the A and the D. So we have this so far. Just repeat all that. Remember, when you come back to the B chord, though, I'll throw that open A in there. That leads you back to the B. And then you play everything that we just did. All right, so it's basically that riff played twice, which is verse number 1. Now the second verse is a little bit different, so we'll get to that in a second. Now this chorus looks like this. All right, so that's gonna be starting here with this, just goes to a D power chord. So it's an open D power chord, so we can just have the open D string, 2nd fret there on the G, and 3rd fret there on the B. So you wanna keep this high E string muted. You're just hitting those 3 strings. Then it comes down to this. So that's just really kind of a single note riff that's going on the low E string, except for the last note. So just starts on the 3rd fret there. Kind of play that. And then you take it down to 2, hit that a couple times. Then to the open E string a couple times. And then go 2, 3 on the way back up. And then hit the open D. So like this. So those last 3 notes, you're just hitting each note once. And that takes us back to a D chord, so we have this. So. Back to the same D power chord. And then here it goes to like a, just straight power chord, the G power chord at the 3rd fret of the low E string. And then to an A major, an A power chord really. Which is just the open A string and 2nd fret across the D and the G. So far for the chorus. Then we start repeating, D, that same little riff on the low E. Back to the D, and this time, back to the G, and we're gonna stay on the G instead of going up to the A. Just kind of hit that a few times and then kill it. So that's kind of the whole chorus there. And then we get to what I guess, I'm calling it a bridge. It almost sounds like the second half of a chorus, whatever, but I'm just gonna call it a bridge. And it's the same riff that's in it's what, you want a piece of my heart, that part. It's the same riff that we played in the intro. All right, so that's nothing new there. It's just exact same riff we did in the intro. But at the 1 minute and 17-second mark, we have this first like signature guitar riff that happens a few times in the song. So it's at 1:17, 1 minute 17 seconds. All right, so pretty simple. We're just down here on the low E string, the 3rd fret. And it's got that little gallop feel to it. Down, 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 down. Slightly palm muted as well. And then we get to this little melody that happens on the D string, and this isn't palm muted. You're gonna let those notes ring out, and that's gonna be 5, 4. He actually goes 5 and then scoots his pinky back here. 5, 4, 2, 0, 2 for this. A little bit of vibrato there, and then back to the note on the low E string, that same little gallop. Then we have this. So it's similar, but we just go 5, 4, 2, 0, and just kind of hold on that 2. So we have, on the open string, I'm sorry. 5, 4, 2, 0. So we had this so far basically 2 times through the riff. And then we do the riff again, and it's played the same way we did the first time. And then we had this little ending, which just goes, basically he plays the 4th fret there on the D, and then the 2nd fret there on the A, and it really takes us to the B power chord. So all together. So kind of, as soon as you get that, as soon as you lay down that note on the A string, start chugging on that B power chord and then back into. So I get that at the end of it. All right, then we get to the 2nd verse, and this is, they add like this chromatic line in it here. There's multiple ways to play this, but when I'm watching them play it back in the day, you can do it like this. Like that kind of thing, and then back. But they seem to be doing it up here instead, so it looks like this. To the chorus again. So this is going to be that same, starting that B power chord again, kind of chugging on that, and then we're going to go, so that from that power chord hit, then to the 6th fret on the low E, it's palm mute as well. 6, 5, 4, 3. So with this. And then when you get to the 3rd fret, kind of hold on that. And there's a quick little da-da-dum, quick little gallop in there. And then it goes back up, kind of. So hit the 3, that little gallop on. And then go 4, 5, 6, and then back to the B power chord. So this all together. Descending. And then ascending is kind of a little gallop at the beginning of it. And then you just kind of start back to the B again, and then it's kind of like the second, like we did the first chorus, like when the second time through, you just wanted it like this. Second half of the verse there. So it's just like the first verse, the second half of it at least. So all together. Then repeat all that again. right, then it gets back to the same chorus and that same little bridge thing that comes out of the chorus. And then we get to the, so there's nothing new to learn there. Then we get to the guitar solo, which uses a little wah pedal here. So the guitar solo, let me play through it for you real quick, and I'll show you how to play it note for note. All right, so that's gonna start, it's basically, it's double stops. He's kind of doing notes around it. I think he's just kind of muting them, making sure it's muted, but it's played like this. So you're gonna bar the 7th fret across the high E and the B. And I'm letting that note touch the G string there. So, and then I'm gonna bring this down. We're gonna play the 8th fret there on the B. So the 8th fret on the B and the 7th fret on the high E. That's the first chord, and then you just lift up that note on the 8th fret, so it's just a bar across the 7th fret of the B and the high E. So you do that, obviously, with a wah. And then it goes into that same without the wah. All right, so then we get back to the same bridge part that we had earlier in the song, and then that takes us into the final, at the end of the song where we play the guitar riff again, and there's a little bit of difference, the very end of it's a little bit different than the previous times you heard it. It looks like this. All right, so that starts the same. But here, this third time through, it does that 5, 4, 2, 0, and there's a quick pull off from 2 back to 0. Now, when you see him play this live, he does this almost every time, but on the album, it's just the very last time you hear it right before the final chorus. So there's a quick little pull off from 2 to 0 on the D string. Then you hit that B power chord and let it ring. So it is. Let that ring and then hit it one more time at the end of the song. And that is it. It is a fun one and not very hard to play. So hopefully you guys will be able to get it underneath your fingers pretty quickly. All right, I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.